It's been a busy day around the Carpenter Complex. Back on Mike Schmidt Field, some of the minor leaguers were going over base running. And then on the big field earlier today, Mike Schmidt is here. He's going over the tag play with some of the infielders like Freddie Galvis and Howie Kendrick and Cesar Hernandez. Mike will be with us on the air this Sunday, but today the Phils will take on the Minnesota Twins. It's game number 8 of spring training baseball. So the Phillies starters are one time through the rotation, and everything's going well, including yesterday. Aaron Nola pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Toronto Blue Jays, and his fastball topped off at 93 miles an hour. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. Well, earlier this spring, we had a chance to see Jeremy Hellickson. He did give up a couple of runs in his outing against the Toronto Blue Jays, but I think everybody's pretty happy to have him back in the rotation for the Phils.
Very happy to be back, and he really adds stability to the starting rotation. I think he's a guy that some of the younger pitchers, the quote-unquote harder throwers of the staff, can really look forward to and see how he pitches. It's exactly what he does. He pitches. Take a look against some of this footage against the Marlins last season. Now, he does pitch to contact, setting up that devastating changeup. It's a pitch, even if you know it's coming at times, he can make you swing and miss at that. Now, the strikeouts were up from 15 to 16, from 121 up to 154 strikeouts. Yes, he will take that, but he does try and pitch to contact and not miss bats. And again, that's something some of the younger players can really look forward to and figure out, you know what, I don't have to miss bats and strike everybody out.
Well, he got stronger as the year went on. In fact, this was a complete game effort against the Marlins in September, and you look at the numbers, it kind of backs things up a little bit. 14 starts after the All-Star break, 6-4 with an ERA of 3.46. So does Pete Mackanin like having a guy like Jeremy Hellickson in his rotation?
When Jeremy was in spring training last year, you know, he's not the kind of guy, he's not an overpowering power type pitcher. This guy he's a true pitcher. His spring was just mediocre last year, so everybody wondered what is he going to be capable of giving us. He doesn't throw 95 plus. He's an artist, and over the course of the season, he proved his value. The consistency he added to the rotation was just what the doctor ordered, and he did a great job. And I expect more of the same. You know, there's certain pitches that when he throws that changeup, 9 out of 10 times it's an unhittable pitch.
Well, that changeup was unhittable for most of 2016. He'll make his second start of the spring today. He'll be opposed by former Phils prospect Trevor May, who's battling for the 5th spot in the Minnesota Twins rotation. Well, we mentioned it was a busy day. There was a lot of teaching going on. There's Schmitty talking to Odubel Herrera, who's still in town before he leaves for the World Baseball Classic. Dylan Cousins getting a chance to chat and soak some things in. Matt Stairs also soaking things in. First pitch is coming up. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. By Toyota. Toyota's One for Everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. Welcome back to Spectrum Field, everyone, as the Phillies and the Minnesota Twins are just about ready to get underway. Jeremy Hellickson out on the mound, getting set to loosen up. He'll possibly go 3 innings today, depending on his pitch count, maybe 4. And it all depends on the pitch count after going 2 innings the last time he was out there against the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Twins, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Robbie Grossman leads it off in left field. Then Eddie Rosario, the center fielder, bats second. And the rest of the lineup has a couple of players who are battling for a spot, not only on the 25-man roster, but also in the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. And they will face right-hander Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson, we mentioned during the Open, 12-10 last year with an ERA of 3.71. Was there a chance he could go to another team after last year? Yes, absolutely. But he decided to take the Phillies qualifying offer, which gives him a chance to pitch 1 more year in Philadelphia, which he said he wanted to do.
Yeah, everybody's glad he's back. And why wouldn't he want to pitch after the year he had last year? And really, he keeps getting better with age. Look at it. Scouting report, 92 to 95. He mostly will sit about 90 to 92. Curve, cutter, and the devastating changeup. And since the All-Star break of last year, very, very good. 6-4 with a 3.46 ERA.
So getting set to face the Minnesota Twins, who are up from Fort Myers. They come in with a record of 2-4-1. This is the first of 3 meetings this spring between the Phillies and the Minnesota Twins. Paul Molitor took over as the manager of the Twins before the start of the 2015 season. He has 142 wins under his belt. Last year, it wasn't a great year for the Twins. 59-103. They finished in 5th place in the American League Central. He had over 3,300 hits during his major league career. Pete Buchanan didn't have 3,300 hits, but he is optimistic that his Phillies team can continue to climb toward and past the 500 mark. So here we go. Robbie Grossman will lead things off for the Twins. Grossman so far 2 for 8 this spring with a double. And coming off a season in which he hit 280 with 11 home runs. There's a chance he'll be one of the starting outfielders. A lot of it depends on the success of some of the others. And the first pitch of the day is taken inside. So we are underway. It'll be Grossman, Rosario, and Sano for the Minnesota Twins. That one is lined down the right field line. Foul by a good margin. Yeah, that's 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a cooler day today than what we've experienced so far in spring training, but very comfortable.
Not as cool as it is back home.
That is very true. Swing and a miss. Threw him something soft. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Temperature here 71 degrees, sunny and clear, and the wind is coming in from right center field. Got some gusts going about 17 miles an hour. Fly ball down the left field line. Kendrick on the run, and off his glove. It's a fair ball. And it kicks toward the corner in left, and Grossman will stop at second. And he is there with what is probably going to be a leadoff double.
I think it will be. Kendrick a long way to run.
Put runners on first and third with back-to-back hits for the Twins to start the inning.
And neither one hit particularly hard.
No.
It's going to be a major factor today. And I came out for batting practice and I saw Mike Schmidt hanging on the cage. I said, Michael Jack, don't look at the wind. Don't look at the flags. He said it's the first thing you look at. But you see Saunders break back here. Really nothing they can do.
So runners on first and third. The Phils try to manage their way through this first inning with Miguel Sano, who is 1 for 7 so far for the Twins. He's going to be rounding out their infield this season over at third base. Phillies will set up to try to turn 2. They'll allow the run to score. And a foul ball back to the screen. Sano last year hit .236 with 25 home runs. We'll take a peek at his numbers this spring so far.
You can see he's a big man. It's a matter of him getting to contact a little bit more frequently for the Twins.
He struck out 178 times last year. Just a bit inside. And just to kind of put that in perspective, 178 strikeouts in 116 games. Quick toss over to first. Ball, 2 strikes now to Sano. Mentioned that Minnesota finished in 5th place in the American League Central. The Indians, of course, won the division with a record of 94-67. The Tigers finished 8 games out. Try to check his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Eric Cooper. 1 out here in the first. It's a nasty pitch right there.
It sure was. And you get a ground ball here, you're out of it. But this is that we were talking about with Sano. He just doesn't put balls in play enough, and Hellickson using that to his advantage.
So now Ben Paulson is the hitter. Paulson 2 for 11 with an RBI so far. Last year hit .217 with Colorado. Hit 11 home runs the previous year. And a breaking ball. It's in there for a strike.
You see already early in this ball game, Hellickson using all his pitches. First pitch curveball.
Good pitch there. 0-2. Asked Jeremy after his last outing. I said, so how'd you feel? He said, well, I felt better yesterday. This was the day after, because I think he was pretty sore the day after. Now 29 years old. He will turn 30 the first week of the regular season. Up and away. One ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball chopped toward first, and it's going to go foul. Well, that would have been apropos because of the first 2 hits that the Twins had, if that turned out to be an RBI and a little ground out. As Rosario goes back to first base, Grossman goes back to third.
Goes back to the hook. Probably up a little bit more than he would have liked. I think he wanted to back foot that curveball.
Yeah, I think he was fortunate that it was slower than Paulson was ready for. Runner goes from first. And that'll find itself off the wall on the concourse. Trying to stay out of the double play. The Twins are. It's a Minnesota team that was boosted big time by their second baseman Brian Dozier, who had 42 home runs last year. But they certainly need some help to get some more offense in that division. Popped him up left side of the infield. Andres Blanco, Freddie Galvis are in the area, and it's Galvis. 2 outs, 15 pitches so far, but he's 1 out away from getting out of this issue. Now that brings Byung-Ho Park to the plate. Here's a guy that the Twins signed out of South Korea, and they thought he was going to make a huge splash. But as he said, simply no excuse for the way he played last year. In fact, the Twins designated him for assignment, even though they paid over $12 million to have the rights to sign him. So he is in camp off the 40-man roster, so trying to win a spot.
He's off to a good start. Couple homers already.
Sure is. Swing and a miss. He's had some good movement on that breaking pitch.
Anytime you can throw that pitch behind in the count, you have a guy sitting dead red. There's a changeup there.
It was a changeup. Boy, it was wicked.
It just comes out of his hand so hot and it just dies.
Is there anything different that a pitcher's doing in his second start compared to his first?
Like I said earlier, you mixing in a few more maybe off-speed pitches. Really, your first couple outings, you're just so concentrated on throwing, locating your fastball, changeup, fastball, changeup. But you know, that's a perfect example there. You want to get pitches in, locate that heater.
I wonder how many steps Larry Boa has today on that Fitbit.
Quite a few.
Runner goes. Ball is popped up foul toward the Twins dugout and out of play. I think at the end of the day we should compare Murph's Fitbit to Larry Boa's Fitbit to see who has more steps. Two balls, 2 strikes to Park. Park playing first base today. That's Joe Mauer's position for the Twins, although Mauer will DH a little bit too. In the dirt, 3-2. So the runner will be off from first base. It's 20 pitches now for Hellickson.
Rosario really wanted to go right there, but just holding that baseball, it screws up the hitter's timing, but it really screws up the base runner's timing there. He was antsy. He looked like he was ready to roll, and he just could not get a jump because Jeremy was holding the ball.
Yeah, he did a little dancing off that first base bag. Inside ball 4. So the runners, or the bases will be loaded here in this first inning. Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop for the Twins, will be the batter. Escobar not off to a good start. He is 0 for 10. Jorge Polanco, who looks like he's going to be the shortstop for the Twins, he's off to a pretty good start.
This would be a good time for Eduardo to go for 11.
Yeah, you don't want the law of averages to start to fall onto Eduardo's side just yet.
No.
1 ball, no strikes. One, according to home plate umpire John Bostwick. Boswick behind the plate. Eric Cooper's over at first, and Vic Carapazza is roaming the infield grass. Over to first base, and Rhys Hoskins will stay down on it. And Hellickson gets out of a bases loaded jam here in the top of the first inning. So he threw a few more pitches than he would have liked, but we're on to the bottom of the first. The Twins nothing, and the Phillies coming up.
Bradford Whitewater Heat.
Bottom of the first inning, Twins loaded the bases up but did not score in their half of the first. Let's take a look at Pete Maccannon's lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Now, we had our first lineup change of the spring because Maikel Franco was scheduled to play third base, but he had to go to the dentist today, so he was having some work done. So Andres Blanco is hitting behind Cameron Rupp. Cameron 1 for 7 so far this spring. Last year of his 98 hits, 43 were extra bases. And some of these Phils players will face former Phils prospect and their former teammate Trevor May, who pitched in 44 games out of the bullpen last year for the Twins and was 2-2 with a 5.27 earned run average.
Not very overpowering, 89 to 93. Works a lot of two-seamers, try and induce a lot of ground balls.
First batter he'll face is Cesar Hernandez, and he bunts at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Larry Bow has been asking Cesar Hernandez every day, how many bunt hits you going to get this year? Well, he's trying to bunt there because he's looking for his first spring training hit. Down to the count, 0-2. Is there ever any pressing going on, even though you're an everyday player and you know you're going to be the everyday second baseman?
Pressing, no. Hurt pride, yes.
Hurt shoulder, too. So Cesar hit by a pitch and is aboard.
You never like to have the pitcher get the best of you. I don't care if it's spring training. I don't care if you're trying to work on things, but you never like to make it out, but you never like to get hit on the shoulder either.
Ow. So Cesar will take his lead over at first, and here is Howie Kendrick. 1 for 8 so far with a double. Out to the mound is Chris Jimenez to talk to Trevor May. May was sent by the Phillies to the Twins along with Vance Worley in the Ben Revere trade some years ago after winning the Paul Owens Award for the top minor league pitcher in the Phillies organization.
Quick mound visit there. Somebody thrown 4 pitches.
Jimenez must have seen something, Ben. There goes Cesar. Pitches high. Throw to second base. Not in time. Boy, he got an unbelievable jump.
Tell Jimenez just to eat that one. What I like about this, obviously I love the jump, but he slid earlier. You know, we've seen Cesar slide past the second base bag a few times. Looked like he made a concerted effort to get in that slide a little sooner.
Yeah, try to anchor down. 17 stolen bases a year ago. Kendrick trying to get the ball to the right side, fouls it back, and it's 2-1. And this is part of the reason why Pete is thinking about putting him in the 2 spots, because he can push the ball to the right side and get the runner from second over to third.
Well, you can watch his batting practice. He will, jump out to left field from time to time, but majority of his batting practice are line drives to right field.
And he gets the runner over to third as he's retired. 4-3 on the putout. Tommy Field took care of him.
Nice job.
Yeah, now a fly ball or even a ground ball, depending on what the infielders do, can get the run home from third.
Nice job. Not an easy pitch to do it with, but he was able to force it towards the right side.
So now Odubel Herrera, who is 3 for 9 this spring. Out to left field. On the run is Grossman, and he makes the catch. Tagging from third is Cesar Hernandez. He'll score. And the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
That ball was driven. Odubel's thinking, man, I know I hit that better than that, but
the wind, man. Oof.
Just howling in. Can you give a half an RBI to Howie Kendrick there? Just a half?
I think mentally you can.
This is a very, very nice play by the left fielder, Robbie Grossman. But that's, yes, Odubel drove him in, but that's Howie Kendrick getting him over.
So the Phils take the lead. Phillies are 3-2-2 so far this spring. And Michael Saunders, the hitter. Breaking ball in there, 0-1. One ball, one strike. For Trevor May, he pitched out of the bullpen last year for the Twins, but as we mentioned before, he is trying to win a spot in the rotation. So he's pitching to start this game, and then Jose Barrios, who we will see during this game as well, also battling for that 5th spot in the rotation. He will pitch next. Into the crowd. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a look at the Twins' expected rotation. See Barrios, who was 3-7 last year with an 8.02 ERA. Sitting 4 from the top.
Doesn't look like Michael's picking the ball up too well right now. Check swings.
I wonder if do you cheat when that happens, or in your mind do you think you have to cheat?
No, you try not to pull the trigger. Just try and slow your stride foot down. You have to slow it down. Get it down. I don't care if it's down early. Even if you go into a no strike, get your foot down as soon as possible.
Bouncer foul over toward the back end of the Phillies dugout.
The faster you go at the baseball, the faster velocity it comes in at. But right now the pitches are getting on him.
Well, and it's, sometimes it's the day, sometimes it's the pitcher, the way they're hiding the baseball, particularly, a left-handed batter compared to a right-handed batter. A little bit better there.
A little bit better. I think if you're Saunders, you could pretty much sell out on a fastball right here. May throws you something else for a strike, so be it, but I think right now you just can't get beat by a heater.
And a liner out towards center field. And Rosario is able to track it down. The Phillies do score a run, though, on the sacrifice fly by Odubel Herrera. We'll head to the second. Phillies 1, Twins nothing.
Dear fellows.
Friday, April 7th, the Phils will have their home openers. They host the Washington Nationals. It's Nemours opening day and a Phillies commemorative Nick Cap free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. You're going to need that Nick Cap this weekend if you can find one. It's going to be cold back home. Tommy Field will lead it off for the Twins. Field last year hit .226 with a home run. He is 3 for 11 this spring. Left side, Andres Blanco has it. And with Freddie Galvis mimicking the throw behind him, Blanco is able to retire Tommy Field. And Chris Jimenez is coming up.
You may call it antics. I call it just loving to play the game of baseball. These two, they love it. When Mike Kell's out there, they love playing the game. Take a look here. Andres cuts off Freddie, as he should on that ball. And there's Freddie right behind him. Love it.
And then they were replacing the divot in the dirt after that was over with. Jimenez takes a breaking ball and it's 0-1. You know, some pitchers come into spring thinking, all right, I have to be better with this pitch or be better with that pitch. At this point in Jeremy's career, I'm not sure if he needs to have a specific pitch be better.
He knows what he is. He's not going to try and overpower anybody. Keep you guessing.
Line drive caught by Rhys Hoskins.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Tom. I never, ever liked facing someone like Jeremy Hellickson.
Because of the way he can start, stop?
Yes. And I just didn't like the first pitch to Jimenez there was a first pitch curveball. You know, I didn't mind the hard throwers where, you know, fastball, changeup, maybe a hook, maybe a slider. But guys that were 90 to 92, mixed speeds, was able to throw a changeup 3-1. I just didn't like it. And it's frustrating because you're thinking in your mind, there's no way this guy can get me out. You know, but he can outsmart you.
Sure.
And he trusts his stuff.
Well, I'm sure it's mentally challenging when you're trying to outthink a guy out on the mound.
Very frustrating for a hitter.
Switch hitter Danny Santana's the batter. And a high fly ball to deep right field. It is gone. And Danny Santana has just tied this game up at 1. He had 2 home runs last year in the big leagues. He crushed that ball.
Yeah, that ball was well struck. And to get it out into that wind, and he still got it out of here by a good amount.
Well, one time through the order now for Hellickson, and now back to the top for Robbie Grossman. So we're tied up at 1. And Grossman slices it foul, 0-1.
See Cameron Rupp set up inside. That ball just kind of creeps back towards the middle. It looks like he and Cameron make a concerted effort to try and pitch in. He's going back in there again. He may be even trying to cut that ball in there a little bit.
I think the home run was a cutter that just, you know, didn't cut all the way. Into the Twins dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Grossman doubled off the glove of Howie Kendrick his first time up, so he's 1 for 1.
It's also a sign some of these younger pitchers, you know, after giving up a long home run. Look, Jeremy's right back in it, 1-2.
Good changeup.
Doesn't let him affect him.
Second strikeout of the afternoon for Hellickson. He does give up a long home run. Game is tied up at 1. We will move to the bottom of the second.
Come and see.
Tonight on CSN, the Sixers are home to take on Carmelo Anthony and the rival New York Knicks. Sixers versus Knicks. Coverage begins tonight at 6:30 over on CSN. Last of the second, we're tied up at 1. Phillies looking for their first hit. Cameron Rupp will lead things off against Trevor May. May allowed the 1 run in the first inning without allowing a base hit. It all began when he hit Cesar Hernandez. And Cesar stole second, went to third on a ground out, and scored on a sacrifice fly. Cameron 1 for 7 so far this spring. outside corner, 0-1. Trevor May last year out of the bullpen had 60 strikeouts in 42 2/3. He was a strikeout pitcher when he was in the minor leagues. And part of it's because of the breaking pitch that offsets the fastball. He won 10 games 2 different years at the Phillies, 2011 and 2012.
Good swing.
And he may have gotten away with a pitch there.
Mentioned Cameron just 1 for 7 thus far in spring training, but he has hit some bullets for outs. Nothing you can do about that.
Ground ball back toward the middle. That's a base hit for Cameron Rupp. First hit of the day for the Phillies. Andres Blanco is due up. Let's go down to Greg Murphy, who's with Aaron Nola.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. I am indeed, and yeah, we're just chatting down here about this ball game and other stuff. But really, obviously, the big story. You got a chance to get back out there yesterday. I know you said you felt pretty good. You certainly look good. But you know, all the talk has been about you getting back out on the mound. So that has to be just such a relief for you, maybe more so than any other guy getting out there for his first start.
It definitely was. It's definitely really good to get back into a game situation again, rather than just throwing bullpens and batting practices and whatnot. So. My arm feels good. I'm healthy. My body feels really good. So it was just good yesterday to get back into a game that, you know, actually throwing against hitters, you know, trying to get hits off of you, and you're trying to get hitters out.
You know, you and I talked at the end of last season. We also talked in January during the offseason, and you kept saying, my arm feels good. You know, I feel good. The body feels good. But did you need to get back out there maybe to feel 100% to know that your body and your mind were both on the same page?
Absolutely. You know, I'm definitely looking forward to my next start, and I'm glad I got out there yesterday and, you know, got that first one out the way. So I'm back on a routine now. I'm back on regular schedule.
Okay, so talk a little bit about the time off that you had. Did you learn anything about yourself or the game of baseball that maybe you wouldn't have learned if you were pitching every 5 days? You got a chance to sit back and kind of watch it and take it in, which was new for you.
Yeah, no, being on the disabled list before I came down here to rehab, I got this, you know, obviously sit in the dugout and not pitch every 5th day. So I tried to watch a game and learn as much as possible and learn from some of the veteran guys, and I'm still doing that now. But I think once I got down here and was rehabbing for those couple months, I really learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my delivery, and I feel like I touched up on some things I needed to touch up on.
All right, the competition between the 5 starters, we joked about it a couple of times last year. It was certainly a lot of fun. You guys trying to go out there and outdo the guy before you, outdo the guy next. Will that continue this year, do you expect? And how does that help the staff not only kind of come together as friends and buddies, but also help in the pitching side of things?
I think it'll continue. I think it will continue every year. You know, I think that's how a rotation should be. You know, I think it brings out the best in the guys, but you know, we're definitely excited for this year. We got Clay, the addition to the starting rotation, and some other veteran guys in the bullpen, and not just the pitching staff, but other veterans and in the positions too. So we're really excited now for them getting the experience on their teams in the playoffs, so they can teach us some things, and we're eager to learn.
All right, you'll get back out there. Jeremy's getting his second start this spring. You'll get another one in a couple of days. Anything that you're looking forward to doing differently that you didn't try in your first start, or just making that next step?
Making the next step, just sticking with my plan, getting ahead of guys, and trying to get early outs.
All right, one final question. I heard in the offseason that you decided to maybe try to learn a little Spanish. How's that going? I can tell you that Scott Fransky and I have been trying to learn Spanish for 2 years now, and it's going slowly for us. How's it going for you?
Probably slower. I mean, it's definitely something that's not going to come easy to me. I've been trying to learn, you know, step by step.
Sure.
I downloaded an app a couple months ago, but it's going really slow.
All right, well, buena suerte to you with the Spanish. That's all I know, guys. We'll send it back upstairs.
Gracias, Murph.
You're welcome.
Buen trabajo.
Yeah, Ben, why don't you go down and teach Aaron how to teach him Spanish?
Learn.
How did you learn it?
I started in 8th grade at Malvern. Actually ended up taking AP my senior year.
Malvern Preparatory School for Boys.
And then just 16 years of professional baseball. What helped me a lot was I'd have, one of the Latin American players teach me a word or a phrase every day. And they'd, quiz me on it throughout the course of the day, so I got it memorized.
In there for a strike, 3-1 to Rhys Hoskins with 1 out here in the 2nd inning. Cameron Rupp over at first. Hoskins 2 for 6 so far this spring with a home run and a double. He is not afraid to run these full counts. Now, last year, Rhys's strikeout rate was 21%, which is high. And that's one of the things that the Phillies would like him to continue and improve on. And he would also. Certainly can't shy away from those power numbers, the 38 home runs. Plus, he's also played a pretty nice first base in the games that we've watched here in spring training.
I just like his approach. He never goes after the baseball. He never flies at it. He's got that real slow leg kick, but fast hands. Oof.
It's going to go back into the crowd and out of play.
Good swing. He's seen a lot of fastball ball up there, but it's a good swing.
After a high heater. That's the first strikeout for May. And Freddie Galvis is coming up. The Twins have struggled from a team ERA standpoint since 2011. The highest that they've finished in the American League in ERA was 10th, and that was in 2015. It's part of what Paul Molitor is hoping they can improve on going into this season. Neil Allen is their pitching coach, former closer. As Galvis takes outside a changeup, it's 1-0.
Our pitching coach in 2006 when I was with the AAA Columbus Clippers with the Yankees.
So did you go down and talk to him today?
I did not. A lot of the coaches didn't come out till late, so I had enough vitamin D for the day. So. Looked like Freddie's jersey there for a minute.
Fly ball left field. Robbie Grossman shading his eyes from the sun. And the Phillies lead the base runner. Cameron Rupp, his leadoff single. Wasted here in the 2nd. We'll head to the 3rd. Evened up at 1.
Welcome to our one.
Phillies spring training baseball is always live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Well, Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. We go to the top of the third. We're tied up at 1. The youngster's checking out something on the dugout. Looks like he's ready to check out for a nap too. Eddie Rosario will start the third against Jeremy Hellickson. I mentioned that Hellickson, depending on pitch count, would like to go 3 or 4. For 36 pitches as we begin the top of the third. 0-1. Rosario singled in the first inning. Little bloop single to right. Ground ball to first, and Hoskins will stay down on it. 1 out.
It's so hard to get young pitchers especially to not want to slow up their arm speed when they throw a changeup. The grip is going to dictate how hot the ball comes out of your hand. But Jeremy not only does repeat his delivery, which I love his delivery because there's no wasted motion in it, but he doesn't change his arm speed. That's exactly what makes the changeup so effective. And it is exactly 8 to 10 miles off his fastball. But his arm speed is what gets you.
Isn't it remarkable though how some guys can do it and some guys can't?
Cole did it very well with his changeup.
One ball, no strikes to Sano. Struck out his first time up. Fastball on the outside corner. Liner down the left field line, and then a hook foul.
Nice play.
Nice play by the trash can, you mean? Well, clean it up. Clean it up.
I thought Roy caught it down there.
That is a nice play by the trash can, Ben. You are correct. Little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three balls and 2 strikes. Last year, Sano played 42 games at third base and 38 games in the outfield. There's Mark Appel, who's loosening up. He is scheduled to be the next pitcher for the Phillies. Three balls and 2 strikes. .23 years old from San Pedro de Macorís. Swing and a miss. He got it with a changeup. Third strikeout for Hellickson. 2 gone. Ben Paulson is the next hitter.
The equalizer. Bottom just falls out of it.
Paulson popped up his first time up.
Cameron encouraging Jeremy there. Hey, let's get these pitches in.
He tried the curveball and he went after it. He just barely got a piece of it. Liner to the right center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Herrera will play it. So a 2-out single. Will Smith has joined Mark Appel in the bullpen. Phillies have 4 minor leaguers that they've brought up here today, including actually Will Morris, I should say, including Morris, Mark Leiter, Tom Eshelman, and Matt Hockenberry, the former Temple pitcher, is also up in the bullpen as an extra man. Park bounces it foul toward the Phillies coaches, and it's 0-1.
Their first workouts are on Sunday, I believe. The minor leaguers. Well, as a group, I know there's a bunch down here.
Yeah.
But as a unit, their first day is on Sunday.
Check-in day.
Check-in day.
I mean, how about having the minor league complex right there attached to the main field? You just peek over your shoulder and think maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 1 month.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. Paulson takes his lead, and he tried another one down there.
Where you want to finish him off in 1 or 2 pitches, no more than that.
Swing and a miss. He got him. He finishes with 4 strikeouts here this afternoon, at least through the first 3 innings. His day is most likely done, but we'll see. On to the bottom of the 3rd. Phillies baseball is brought to you by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy rights. Phillies and the Twins tied up at 1. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. This great complex that we talk about, Phillies in Clearwater. This is their 71st year here in Clearwater, Florida. Jack Russell Stadium was the previous home. Only the Tigers have played at spring training home longer. In Lakeland, the Tigers have been there since '34. It's the 14th spring at the current facility, renamed Spectrum Field this year. And there is some movement going on around spring training baseball. Word is that the Braves may be moving to Sarasota, where they would get a brand new facility, leaving the Orlando area. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyler Goodell, and he takes a strike, 1-1. And Bright House Field is no more. It is now Spectrum Field. Two balls and 1 strike to Tyler Goodell.
A lot of great memories at the old Spectrum and back in Philly.
Tapper, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I actually have 2 chairs from the Spectrum.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, down the cellar. Yep.
Did you purchase them or did you steal them?
I purchased them. 20 bucks.
Wow, what a bargain.
Yeah. I don't remember them being that small, though.
I was going to say, the seats were small.
Yeah. And the floors were sticky.
They tied him up. And that's the second strikeout for Trevor May. And with 1 gone, we flip back to the top of the order for Cesar Hernandez. Paul Molitor just signaled to the bullpen, so it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. 42 pitches for Trevor May. His afternoon is complete. Jake Reed was loosening up, and he'll come on to face Cesar Hernandez, which means Hernandez will flip around to the right side, or stay at the left side of the plates.
Around
Phillies and Twins all tied up here at 1 here in the 3rd inning at Spectrum Field. And, you know, the Phillies guys, like every other major league team, have spent the offseason just trying to get a little bit better than they were a year before. And for the Phillies, one of the big focuses was adding offense. Of course, their offense struggled a year ago, and they wanted to get power numbers, and they also wanted to manufacture some runs. And they were able to do that here in the 1st inning as the Fanatic joins me out here. A stolen base by Hernandez, and then, of course, you had the Howie Kendrick moving him over to 2nd or to 3rd, and then the sacrifice fly as well. You know, I don't know if you're getting him on camera. I could push you right now. I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. But thanks for joining us out here, Fanatic. You know, we're talking about manufacturing runs, and for getting better, one of the main focuses for the Phils was the corner outfield positions. You know, last year Peter Bourjos was, you know, so solid as a defensive player. Aaron Altair was as well, even Tyler Goodell. But the guys like Michael Saunders, adding him in and adding, really, and adding in Howie Kendrick here in left field, they're hoping that the defense stays solid with Odubel Herrera in center field, able to cover a lot of ground, and the offense improves. And did you hear a word I said at that entire time? How was that, Fanatic? Was that all right? That was good? No? What do you mean?
Murph, I thought it was really smooth.
You know, we're trying to work here, Fanatic.
There's an infield hit for Cesar Hernandez. So he's aboard with 1 man down. Murph, you wait all afternoon to tell us about the new offense,
and look what happens.
And look what happens.
Well, you know, he just can't be trusted.
No.
I should have known better when he walked over here to call it a day.
Or you should have done the hit from right field because he wasn't there.
Yeah, he's ruined it for us. He'll go ruin it for someone else now. You know, that's what he does.
I don't know. I think it may be a different story with somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Always good to see him.
Well, here's Howie Kendrick as Cesar takes his lead off first. Pitches inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Was there a chance you were going to fall over, or the Fanatic was going to fall over, Murph?
They were just making sure that he didn't fall off the ledge. As was I. You know, we worry about the big green guy. He's out of control.
Over toward the hole. Flag down by Sano to second for 1. And a nice turn at second base. No runs. 1 infield hit for the Phillies. And nobody left. A little defense for the Twins. 3 in the books. Still a 1-1 game as we head to the 4th.
Come and see.
Saturday, April 8th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. It's McDonald's opening night T-shirt, free to fans 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased right now by going to Phillies.com. As you take a peek at the Phillies T-shirt that'll be given out this year. You go to the top of the 4th inning. And the Twins and the Phils are tied at 1. Mark Appel will make his 2nd appearance this spring. Appel last year pitched in 8 games in Lehigh Valley. 3-3 with a 4.46 ERA. Mark Appel was drafted 3 different times before he eventually signed with the Houston Astros. Drafted first in the 15th round in 2009 by the Tigers. And then 3 years later drafted in the 1st round, 8th overall by the Pirates. Didn't sign, went back to Stanford. And then was the 1st overall pick by the Astros the next year, and of course signed there, and the Phils picked him up before last year.
And not too often we see the 1st overall pick being traded.
Down low, 2-1. No, he has the stuff. There's no question about it. Last year, he had a roadblock because he had to have elbow surgery. He had a bone spur that was removed. Landed on the DL in May. Cesar Hernandez throws Escobar out. And now Tommy Field is due up. And you think about it too, he has all the physical tools. You know, he's a big kid. Big difference between college and professional baseball. But he was a dominant pitcher when he was in college.
Yeah.
That ball is rocketed deep to left field. Kendrick going back, and it is gone. And Tommy Field has just given the Twins a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning.
Boy, is that called sitting dead red and getting your heater. Tommy not the biggest guy, and you keep it low enough, you can elude that wind. Ball was smoked. It's down. Like I said, Tommy Field not the biggest in stature and goes down and hits a bullet to left field.
So now Jimenez, who lined out to first softly his first time up for the second time. So 2 solo home runs for the Twins here this afternoon. Down and away, 2-0. Close pitch, and it misses 3-1.
He's a quick worker.
And he gets it down, and you can see the movement even down. Toward the middle, get that hand out of the way. Backhanded by Cesar, and he will not have a play. An infield hit. So the year that Mark Appel was picked first overall, Chris Bryant was taken second by the Chicago Cubs. We've seen John Gray already with the Rockies. Clint Frazier's now with the Yankees. Even though he was the first overall pick, it does not always dictate success. Danny Santana homered his first time up.
I think of the 4 major sports, it's without a doubt the hardest to forecast how players are going to do in the big leagues. I really do.
Two.
Filthy there. Good pitch. It's a hard breaking ball at 85 as well. Straight down. I'd like to see him go right back to it. If anything, bounce it this time.
Hitter might be jumpy enough to just go after.
Yeah.
Over to shortstop. That might be 2. There's 1. It's swept from Galvis to Hernandez and then right on over to first. 6-4-3 double play. The Twins do take the lead on a home run by Tommy Field. But we go to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies down by 1.
They're back.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's One for Everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. 2-1 Twins on top. We move to the bottom of the fourth inning. They'll go back to their bullpen. Their third pitcher of the afternoon is 22-year-old right-hander Jose Barrios. Barrios last year 3-7 with an 8.02 ERA. He finished up the season strong, though, with one of his best outings. I mentioned he's only 22. You know, with the World Baseball Classic upon us, when he was 18 years old, he pitched for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic. 18 years old. He's got a chance to be in the starting rotation. We showed you that graphic before. And he is up for one of the spots, but it looked like he's battling with the guy who started today, Trevor May, who pitched well, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. So now Barrios will face Odubel Herrera, Michael Saunders, Cameron Rupp. And first pitch a little high. To the right side, out of play, rolling toward the Twins dugout, 2-1.
Odubel upset with himself. He missed that 2-0 cookie. I say cookie. It was at 95 miles an hour still, but
yeah, backed up, or it followed an 85-mile-an-hour pitch the last time. Back toward the middle. Tommy Field has it and is able to just throw Odubel Herrera out. That's a nice play.
Very nice play.
Group tickets are available for groups of 25 or more. Take advantage of special opportunities, including discounts, theme nights, party areas, plenty of benefits and special options, special fundraising opportunities. It's a great way to raise funds and awareness. For more information, go to phillies.com/group tickets. 1 out. Michael Saunders due up. Way upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you can see why they like Barrios. I mean, he's only 22, 6 feet and 215 pounds, but he can corral 95.
Can he sustain it, though? That's the problem.
And a liner to right field. That'll be in for a hit. He left that pitch up. Saunders will get to second base at least. And it's a 1-out double.
Boy, is that a good pitch to hit there? 85-mile-an-hour changeup up in the zone. You can see that right at his belt. Doesn't try and do too much with it. Nice fluid swing. The pitch had hit me written all over it.
I mentioned he's hit some baseballs hard during the spring. Cameron Rupp singled up the middle his first time up. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes.
You mentioned in the open the Phillies were doing base running drills this morning, and during batting practice usually the hitters will take their first round and start at first base, but Pete wanted them starting today at second base just to get some reads on balls and really try and figure out, you know, if they're going to advance to third or even score.
Ball 4. That puts runners on first and second. They score a lot of runs today.
They scored a lot of runs in BP.
What's the biggest point that they have to get across? I mean, is it just getting a specific read?
Well, just instinctively, yes, getting a specific read. You know, first and foremost, you have to recognize, is the ball hit to my left enough where I can advance to third base?
That's the hardest part, I would think.
Yes, and then the other one is the ball, if we say it's a line drive over the infield, is the ball going to get down, or is it going to carry to an outfielder where I might get doubled up at second base? They're the two factors that go into whether or not you can advance.
Well, there were some base running issues last year throughout the course of the season. So Pete came into camp, and they worked on it a lot last year, but he said that one of his goals was to work on it even more this spring. Base running and defense.
But he didn't want to take away the aggressiveness of his base runners.
He's always said that. You know, whenever we have seen somebody, let's say like Cesar Hernandez, who gets into a little bit of trouble running the bases from time to time, Pete said it's frustrating, but I'd rather him be aggressive. I don't want him to be dormant when he's on the base paths. Andres Blanco takes strike one, 0-1.
Well, not when you have that kind of speed. He can just flat out roll with anybody. Saw on stolen base after his first at bat, the infield single.
Way outside. That's a tough pitch to corral. Here's Jimenez. Barrios, when he goes to the World Baseball Classic, he will be, according to him, one of the starting pitchers for Team Puerto Rico. This is a team that includes Carlos Beltran, Francisco Lindor out of play. In fact, former Phil, J.C. Romero is on the Puerto Rico roster. I don't know if he's trying to use this for a stepping stone to come back or not. Joel Pinheiro, who also former
teammate
of Ben's, so he's really old. He's trying to make a comeback too. Outside, 2-2.
Thank you, Tom.
Twins, though, have 5 players from their system that are going to represent Puerto Rico. Two balls, 2 strikes to Andres Blanco. Popped out his first time. Pickoff play on. I don't know if that hit Saunders or just hit off the glove of Escobar.
It was a good move. Quick move.
Swing and a miss. Blanco goes after a high fastball. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Twins pitching.
93-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. It looks so good. You just can't catch up to it. The big swing there by Andres, though. I'd like to see him cut back on that a little bit.
Well, now Hoskins, who struck out, he ran the count to 3 balls, 2 strikes his first time up, and it went down on strikes. And it gets away from the catcher Jimenez, and the runners move up. So 2nd and 3rd now with 2 men down.
Try and go in, and not even close.
Wow.
A lot of effort on every pitch, isn't it, Tom?
A lot of effort and a lot of deep counts. And when you're a power guy, correct me if I'm wrong, when you have a lot of deep counts, most times you're going to run into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
You have to come in with that fastball, and every major leaguer can hit a fastball.
Harder is not always better.
Inside, 3-0.
Green light him here.
I mean, he did hit 38 home runs last year.
I think you have to green light him.
I looked like he did have the green light, but it didn't look like there was the pitch he wanted. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think you're really going to be looking for a pitch in 3-0.
I think Barrios is the kind of guy, at least today, that even if you're looking out over the plate, you got to be leery of up and in.
Yeah.
No. Well, he's hit 2 foul balls today that have been way up. Three balls and 2 strikes.
That 2-3-0 counts. Let's see it down. The great Merv Retman used to tell us in San Diego, see it down and whack it. Oh, is it that easy? Okay.
Sure sounds like it is. And there's ball 4 to load up the bases. Second walk of the inning for Barrios. And now Freddie Galvis will bat with the bases loaded. Sano coming over to just kind of calm Barrios down a little bit. Freddie flied out to left field, his only time up. 0 for 1. Like Quebec with a changeup.
Yeah.
Figuring Freddie's thinking fastball on that first pitch.
You must have to look for a changeup here. He's not having a tough time.
93 right down the chute.
He's having a tough time controlling that fastball.
Phillies have managed 3 hits here this afternoon. The Twins with 6 through 4 innings of offense. Two balls, 2 strikes. Tyler Goodell waits on deck.
I believe Barrios and Jimenez are using first sign indicator. If it holds true, it'd be fastball in here. Yep.
And it was. Fly ball right field. And Santana is there. No chance with the winds for that to carry it all. Phillies leave them loaded. We'll leave for the 5th. Phillies down 2-1.
Dear fellow citizen,
Jeremy Hellickson this afternoon went 3 innings, scattered 4 hits. Ben, his changeup was working effectively this afternoon.
It was excellent. Even a couple breaking balls were good. He seemed to have better command of his off speed than he did of his fastball. But overall, very good for his second outing of spring. The changeup was just outstanding, though, like it always is. Nice to see that. Just getting hitters out in front all day long was Jeremy Hellickson, and nice to see him get out of that first inning jam as well.
Yeah, picked up 4 strikeouts along the way. So the one run he allowed was the home run to Danny Santana. The Twins tacked on another run and a home run by Tommy Field in the 4th. So now we go to the 5th. And Minnesota leads it 2-1. Robbie Grossman will lead it off. Grossman is 1 for 2. Fastball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You mentioned before how Appel max effort as far as his delivery goes. It seems like he's more around the strike zone today than he was his first outing.
I think so. I would like to see him with his finish being more towards Cameron Rupp as opposed to Rhys Hoskins at first base. You know, I think, you know, sometimes he just starts peeling off, especially in that last outing. He missed a lot of pitches. If it was a righty up, he missed a lot of pitches down and away. I just think because he's falling off towards that left side.
Check swing on a 92-mile-an-hour sinker. Try to back that one on the outside part of the plate, but it's full 3-2. Foul ball. So back-to-back fouls. His pitch count is rising somewhat. And a strike 3 calls. Outfoxed Robbie Grossman.
Well, the pitch early in the bat, as I talked about, going towards Cameron Rupp and not falling off towards that left-hand side. The 2-2 pitch, he tries to throw a breaking ball. Cameron wants it down. I'd like to see him go that way, but he doesn't. He ends up going, after he plants, he ends up coming back this way. See him end up over on that side. So that's something I'd like to see him finish more out in front.
He gets the strikeout. So you think if he finishes more out front, then the ball will get a little bit of more. Will get a little bit of the play.
It'll just make him get more extension. It'll make him get more extension on it, and you know you finish out in front as opposed to peeling that arm across your body. You want to finish, if you're a pitcher, you want to finish down and past your left kneecap if you're right-handed. You want to be down and through. You don't want to be coming this way with the ball. You end up, you know, pulling balls towards the first base side.
You know, the one thing he has shown today, and it's because it's his second outing, but his changeup has been really effective here this afternoon.
That was it right there. That was it right there. And this is the strikeout pitch we see. You know, he just able to finish down and past that. See, down past that left kneecap right there, as opposed to peeling off towards that left side. That was a perfect example right there.
No, I mean, there's no doubt that he has all the ability in the world. It's just harnessing it as much as you can and getting his confidence up to a certain level. Well, he's got 2 strikes again. 1 ball, 2 strikes this time to Rosario, and he fouls it at the plate.
And that strikeout pitch was a perfect example.
It really was.
Down and past that kneecap.
And you wonder if people have tried to change him when it comes to his mechanics.
Right.
Because I think that's one of the issues, is that he has been tinkered with a lot since he was drafted by the Astros. On a high fly ball to right field. Saunders waits for it about 5 steps from the track. It was just in on the hands a little bit. And there are 2 outs.
Here's a look at Appel from that angle on that outside pitch, or on the strikeout. He gets down. Look at his extension down past that left kneecap. That is textbook. And that ball, that's how pitches get on hitters. You're throwing it through the mitt, not to the mitt.
Sano takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Good breaking ball. All right, he's thrown it twice now. How do you get him to strike out? I mean, do you throw it a 3rd time?
Well, 2 things. 1 and 2, you have a couple pitches to work with. I'd like to see him end it here. He could climb the ladder. I'd like to see him bounce that breaking ball right here.
That's what he tried to do. And it's a strike 3 calls. 2 strikeouts of the inning for Appel. Hey, Murph woke up earlier today to give us a tour of Spectrum Fields.
Well, guys, every employee, player, coach that walks into Spectrum Field, they get a chance to see this just inside the door, the iconic picture from back in 2008, and certainly Philadelphia Phillies fans recognize that scene. Then in the hallway leading into the clubhouse, more recognition of the ultimate goal, the World Series. Of course, in 1980, the win, and in 2008 as well. A constant reminder to the players what they're working towards. National League championships, division championships, and their ultimate goal, the World Series. Well, here in the back hallway of the clubhouse, it's the celebration of Phillies history continuing. The Wall of Fame, the great players in Phillies history. Mike Schmidt, you got Charlie Manuel on the wall, and Pat Burrell as well. Of course, fans in Philadelphia can see all of this in center field at Citizens Bank Park. The Wall of Fame players, the best guys in Phillies history. But it's not just the history of the organization inside the clubhouse. In fact, some of the current players have also found themselves up on the wall, and that's exciting for many of them, and, well, more exciting for, well, at least one of them. Cam, what do you think? Looking pretty good up there.
Yeah, it looks good. I think I'd look a little bit better with my mask off, but, you know, that's okay.
Just keep working. I think you missed a spot there. Yeah.
Perfect.
He would look a little bit better with his mask off. Well, you know, even on the backfields, there's the mural for Richie Ashburn for Whitey. It's part of Richie Ashburn Field. It really does look sharp. I know not everybody gets a chance to see it because it's in the clubhouse area, but it really does look sharp, and it spruces up what is already a beautiful facility.
It's cool. It's the first thing you have to notice it walking down the hallways in the clubhouse.
Well, this is a spectacular place to come watch baseball. We've enjoyed it for all the years that we've been coming down to Clearwater. The berm, which on many occasions is jam-packed with folks. Get a chance to soak in a little sun today on a breezy day. Now, Murph, did you have an associate producer or executive producer that was involved in that shoot with you today?
Well, Matt Stairs was a big part of our production today. Well, you remember my hit with the Fanatic a few innings ago?
Yes.
That was Matt Stairs without the green costume.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's the way he helped out in the clubhouse today.
It's amazing that you're able to get it done. I don't know how you do it.
I tell you, just trying to make a living.
0-1 to Tyler Goodell, now 0-2. Well, there's going to be continued, there's going to be some additions to what Murph showed you in the years to come. And some of it is just fantastic. We were talking to Crucker the other day. They have the, the Wall of Fame, and it's pretty neat to walk by all of the names and the pictures in the Phillies Wall of Fame. 1-2 to Goodell. Goodell struck out his first time up. Two and two. As Goodell went around on that pitch.
know about that one.
Well, so 1 out, and that is the 4th strikeout today for Twins pitching. And back to the top of the order for Cesar Hernandez. Cesar's been on base twice today. He has walked and scored the 1 run for the Phils. Then he singled in the 3rd. And he singles here in the 5th inning.
Short swing.
Well, he came in hitless, Ben, but now he's got 2 hits. He's been on base 3 times.
Keep the ball out of the air. Keep it on the ground. Use your wheels. And that was just a picture perfect swing.
Howie Kendrick is 0 for 2. He grounded out both times up. Last time it was a 5-4-3 double play. Pretty good chance you're going to see Cesar off and running here at some point. Looks like he's a little quicker to the plate than May was.
Yeah.
And Cesar just barely got that hand in there.
Was that a quick move, huh?
Sure was. Miss 0-2.
Nice change up there.
I guess Cesar is not inclined to run, at least early in the count, because the objective for Pete and the coaching staff is for the base runners to get jumps early. Now he may go here because there's no balls and 2 strikes, but they would like him the base runners to get going on the 1st or 2nd pitch. He does not go, and Kendrick strikes out. 3 strikeouts now for Barrios. Neto Double Herrera is coming up.
Climbs the ladder here, 0-2 to Kendrick. Now he cannot stop it. I think Cesar, the near pickoff, I think got him, but I can't see anybody running on that slide step. That is quick to home plate.
If the pitcher is that fast, then even the best of base stealers don't always press to do it.
So I get him on the stopwatch here, Tom. So it's the time he breaks his hands, the time the ball hits the catcher's mitt. 1-3 and under is a good time for.
I was going to say he's probably around 1-3.
Yeah. I think he might be a little quicker. Also depends on the speed of the pitch. Had 105. Wow.
All right, so that's why they're not trying to go. That time he thought about going, the pitch whizzes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I had 108 on that one. That was a slower pitch, but that's just way too quick.
Cesar stole 17 bags last year, had the stolen base earlier. The top of the order is going to have to steal some bags.
Yes.
I don't know if Kendrick will as much as Odubel and Cesar and Freddie, if he, depending on where he is. 2-1. They'll appeal, or they want an appeal. Eric Cooper, the second umpire in the infield, is on the right side of the diamond. Home plate umpire John Bostwick decides not to offer at it.
Didn't go.
Well, the body went, the bat stayed there. Back toward the middle, and that's a base hit over the second base bag. Cesar Hernandez will hold up at second. Phillies have first and second now with 2 men down. And Michael Saunders will get a chance to bat for the second time against Barrios.
He hits some hard ground balls, doesn't he?
He does.
Barrios chose to go with a higher leg kick there. Really enabled Odubel to get his foot down. I don't know how that ball missed second base.
Saunders' double went down the right field line his last time up. Phillies had the bases loaded in the 4th inning as Felix Jorge loosens in the pen. One of the extra pitchers that were brought today by Minnesota. Nice play by the ball girl on the carom. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. And Saunders is rung up, and that's 3 strikeouts in the inning for Barrios. The Phillies get a couple of base runners. Here's a look at the Wall of Fame inside the Phillies clubhouse. It's some spectacular shots as we move to the 6th inning. Time now for our game summary. We've had a couple of home runs here today for the Minnesota Twins. Danny Santana and Tommy Field. Trevor May started for the Twins, went 2 1/3. Hellickson went 3 innings for the Phillies. The Phillies jumped out to the early lead. But the Twins now lead it 2-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Phillies have some changes. There's Dylan Cousins, who takes over in right field as Mark Appel delivers one and is it fouled on the first base line. In left field, Daniel Nava takes over. Aaron Altair is the new center fielder, so a brand new outfield for the Phils.
Mark Appel, a great inning, last inning, 2 strikeouts and a lazy fly ball to right field.
And like Jeremy Hellickson, trying to pitch 3 innings here this afternoon. Two balls and 1 strike. We mentioned before how competitive the American League Central is. The Cleveland Indians won the American League pennant last year. And with the addition of Edwin Encarnacion, I'm not sure if they have taken a step back at all.
I wouldn't think so.
So that's why it will be difficult for a Twins team, you know, that's added guys like Jason Castro behind the plate and a couple of other free agents. It's going to be hard for them to A, get out of the basement, but B, catch the Cleveland Indians. Back toward the middle, and a diving stop by Kingery, quick to his feet, 1 away.
This kid having a spring or what?
Fantastic defensive play. How about how fast he got up to his feet?
It's hard to believe. It's one thing to get to the ball, but to get to your feet that quickly.
It wasn't even close to first base.
There was a strike to first. Man. Doing it with the leather, doing it with the stick.
So now Park today is 0 for 1 with a walk. It's that one toward the hole, past Blanco. I don't think that took the hop that Blanco expected, but it's going to wind up being a base hit. And Escobar's coming up. So here are the additions and subtractions for the Twins this year. They've added Castro as their catcher because they lost Kurt Suzuki. Ben Paulson, who we just saw. J.B. Shuck, who's on the bench today. He's over from the White Sox. And Drew Stubbs, who's really bounced around since getting to the big leagues with the Reds. And the veteran Ryan Vogelsong. Ball's fouled back. It's 0-1. But if you look at the Indians lineup, you know, with Encarnacion right in the middle of it, Carlos Santana at first, Lindor at shortstop. I mean, Carrasco's back. He's healthy, pitching.
Yeah. You know what their bullpen can do.
Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good breaking ball, 1-2. It's Will Morris, who is warming again in the bullpen. And Aaron Slegers is warming in the bullpen for the Twins. 2 balls, 2 strikes. out on the concourse. 2-2. Tommy Field waits on deck. We talk about the Indians and how good they are. You couple that with the fact that Tigers, still the Tigers.
Yeah.
The Royals are expecting somewhat of a bounce back year, although they've lost a few components to the 2 World Series teams.
I just thought they'd be a team that would be in the mix for years to come because of their youth.
3 balls, 2 strikes, a fastball that's just a bit low. Pell may be getting up to his pitch count, so this may be his final batter. Runner goes. Pitches a broken back ground ball to shortstop. Or excuse me, second base. Kingery will throw over to first. Well, that would have been a double play ball if not for the runner going. Here comes Bob McClure, and that's probably going to be it for Mark Appel.
Exactly why he put them in motion. Stay out of that double play.
All right, so Bob has signaled to the pen. That's going to be it for Appel. He goes 2 2/3, and we've got a pitching change. Tomboy, presented by Geico, focuses on the obstacles women face in sports, both on and off the field. Log on to csnphilly.com/tomboy for inspiring stories like our own Dee Lynham, who talks about growing up in a basketball family and being a woman covering the sport she loves. We're here in the top of the 6th inning. The Phillies are down 2-1. There are 2 outs and a runner at second base. And Will Morris is the new pitcher. Morris last year was 9-4 with a 3.68 ERA. He's one of 4 minor leaguers that are have been added to today's roster. Last year he combined to help the Clearwater Threshers throw a no-hitter. Game that Drew Anderson started. Morris, who was out of the College of Southern Nevada, will face Tommy Field, who has homered today. He's also grounded out to third. Here it is. This is a bullet.
First pitch swinging here off Mark Appel. That was really a bullet, and you'd have told me there'd be a couple homers in this game today. I would say no way with the wind blowing in the way it is, but that one.
And the wind has picked up too.
It has.
Got it away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought Mark looked very good, though. I was impressed.
I thought the way he pitched the first day, which could have been butterflies, but compared to that, very different pitcher. That is Nico Goodrum, who is running at second base. Good off-speed pitch, 1 and 2. Got him. Kept throwing something soft. He gets the 1 batter he needs here in the 6th inning. He leaves 1 in scoring position. On to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Phillies trail the Twins 2-1.
Come and see what
Great opening weekend of baseball and great promotions for everyone. It begins on Friday, April 7th at 3:05. It's Nemours opening day. And you can see the cap or the knit hat that's going to be given out. All part of a 3-game series. Saturday the 8th, it's McDonald's opening night. Sunday the 9th, it's Cavity Busters Kids opening day. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And the Twins with the Osprey looking on.
Really a bird's eye view, huh, Tom?
Sure is, Ben. Way to work on that one. Aaron Slegers will be the new pitcher. Cameron Rupp lifts one to right field. Hawka going back on it, and he's there to make the catch. The windrunner right on back. So Cam's day may be done. And here's Andres Blanco. Slegers 10-7 in 25 starts last year in Double-A.
Chattanooga Lookouts.
They were around when you played.
Their old stadium, I know they have a new one now, but in your old stadium, I played there in the summer of '98 in Southern League. They had camels in center field.
Why wouldn't you? Blanco tried to check. Like real camels?
Yeah, center field
petting zoo or something?
Center field was like 500 some feet away. It was ridiculous. And they had camels out in center field.
Time is called 0-2. You're looking at Slegers and you're thinking, you know, he looks rather tall. Well, he is. He is 6'10". Swing and a miss. 94 at 6'10", probably looks like 100.
He's letting it go at probably 52 feet.
So 2 outs.
Just hard. It's like he hides it well.
Of course, Andres couldn't hit that ball. The bird went right into his line of sight. Sluggers is a former Big Ten pitcher of the year. He went to Indiana. And now Rhys Hoskins inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Over toward third. That's a fair ball. Dug out nicely over at first, and a very quick inning for Sluggers. And the Twins maintain a 1-run lead as we go to the 7th. Cavity Busters Kids Opening Day will be Sunday, April 9th at 1:35. Fans 14 and under coming to the ballpark receive the Phillies hooded sweatshirt. There it is right there. Get your tickets for the opening series against the Nationals by going to Phillies.com. Included in that is that game right there. Our daily Osprey takeout.
Whew. We got some lunch there, Tom.
Yeah, he's hoarding it all by himself. You know, let me just take this one on my own. Here's Alberto Tirado for the Phils. Last year at Lakewood, he was 7-1 with an ERA of 3.23. He pitched in Lakewood, and he also pitched here in Clearwater. 22-year-old, just turned 22 this past December. In the Dominican Republic, he takes over for Will Morris, who pitched very well. And he will face Jimenez to begin the top of the 7th inning. Jimenez is 1 for 2. He has singled. He's lined out. Santana is next for the Twins. Outside, 1-0. Got the hands of Jimenez, so he is aboard for the 2nd time today. Thanks so much for getting that last at bat.
Just gets away from him. It's like he was trying to spin something up there, just kind of backed up on him and hit Jimenez.
Danny Santana homered his first time up. Shows bunt, takes low, 1-0. Toronto at the end of last year was listed as the number 29 prospects for the Phillies, thanks to Major League Baseball. One ball, one strike. One ball, one strike. Outside, 2-1. Toss over to first. Sean Burnett warming up in the bullpen for the Phils. Toronto was acquired by the Phillies in the Ben Revere trade when Ben went to Toronto. He came over with Jimmy Cordero. Cordero, you know, he threw harder. He threw over 100. He didn't know where it was going to go, though. He wound up going over to the Washington Nationals. And a looper down the left field line. That'll be in for a base hit. Jimenez on his way to third. And the throw to second base not in time. Now that puts runners on second and third, so it'll be a double for Santana, who is 2 for 3.
Nice piece of hitting there by Santana, and really we saw his pop in his first at bat, but he really has some wheels too. Pitches off the plate. It's a double down the left field line, but he was really rolling around first base.
Freddie Galvis will come in to chat with Toronto. Toronto had one game last year toward the end of the season with Lakewood where he struck out 10 in 6 innings of work. Phillies played the infield in. And Zach Granite takes high. Like a lot of young players, you know, his issue is just the free passes and a lot of deep counts. Outside, 2-0.
Well, you're getting to witness that right now. You can see the stuff is there. He's a hard thrower. A lot of times these young kids, they just want to make such an impression where they just end up overpowering the baseball. They lose command.
And there it is again, down low, 3-0. Logan Moore, who just came in to catch, has to backhand. And 3 in the inner half. And a line drive to center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 2 runs will score. Altair gets it into seconds. And Granite with a 2-run single has given the Twins a 4-1 lead. Well, that's a pitch that was just left up too much in the zone.
That's what happens when you fall behind. You got to lay one in. Three 1 count. Zach Granite does not miss it.
So now J.B. Shuck, who is 2 for 10 so far this spring. Shows bunt, takes way inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Best pitch in baseball is strike 1.
The toss over to first. Shuck was signed as a minor league free agent by the Twins this past offseason. He spent parts of the last 2 years in the White Sox organization. Played 80 games last year in the big leagues, 79 the year before in the big leagues. And he bunts to the left of the mound. Toronto throws him out up to second base. Goes the base runner. And now Daniel Paca will be the batter.
I know it's spring training, but you give him a sack on that? I think it was one for a hit.
I think by rule you have to give him a sack, though. It used to be that, you know, from a discretionary standpoint, you can give it a base hit attempt. It sweeps over. It's no balls and 1 strike. Fastball. It must have been low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Must have.
Twins picked up Paca from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss. Last year on 2 different levels, he hit 34 home runs. Originally a 3rd round selection. Out of Georgia Tech. I think you can project that he's going to hit some home runs if he can get up to the big leagues. Since his last 3 years in the minors, he's had 22, 29, and 34 home runs. There's a little bit of progression there.
Yeah.
Out to shallow center. Actually, the wind will take it back on the infield dirt, and Galvis will make the catch. 2 outs. And Ben Paulson is scheduled to hit. Paulson is 1 for 3 in this ball game. In the dirt, 2-0. Well, I mean, everybody has to get their work in, and you're right. When you haven't done a whole lot of pitching with the big club, there is an adrenaline rush.
It's only natural, but how well you can harness that. And you really have to contain that as much as possible. Easier said than done, though.
Easier said than done. And he delivers a strike, 3-1. Phillies may have to use another one of their younger pitchers today. Back to 3-2. Goodrum will come on to pinch run. In the 6th inning, he is waiting on deck. Ground ball to second base. Kingery to a knee. And Toronto is able to finish off the Twins here in the 7th. Now they do score 2 runs. 2-run single by Granite has made it a 4-1 game as we stretch.
Dear fellow citizens.
Phillies trail the Twins 4-1 as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Buddy Balchers is the new pitcher for the Twins. And as he warms up, he's getting set to face Freddie Galvis and then Tyler Goodell, and the Phils managing just 5 hits. And before the Phillies bat here, let's go to Greg Murphy's with a special guest.
Special guest indeed, Tom. Thank you very much. You never know who you're going to see at Spectrum Field, and I found the head coach of Concordia College in Minnesota, but you might also know him as a guy who was a catcher here for the Phillies back in the golden years in 2006 and 7, 2008. Chris Coast, good to see you. You look like you're ready to play. You still could play.
You know, I try to keep in shape, and you know, the coaching kind of keeps me young. I'm 44, and I'm a late bloomer. If you followed my career, I was in my prime at 33, so why should coaching at 44 not be in my coaching prime? So yeah, feeling pretty good.
Well, it's certainly good to see you. You've got your team here. You're playing in Florida. You get a chance to come out and watch your old team. And but you and I were just talking, and the idea of coaching and how it does keep you young. It's been a lot of fun for you. You're in your 3rd full season as the head coach at Concordia, but also it's been what, 4 or 5 years now, 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years total. And yeah, the coaching definitely keeps you on your toes. And I've always been a huge fan of the game. Maybe even when I played, I'd run around the outfield at Fenway Park or Citizens Bank, and I felt like the luckiest fan in the world. But now that I'm a coach, I'm still entertained by the game, but I watch it now as a coach. I mean, when I'm watching a game, it's kind of in a different perspective. It's almost like as a teacher, you know, things like that. So it's a little bit different. The game still gets me fired up, and you know, the state of the game today with the ability the way it is, it's even changed since I played. But no, I still you know, I still love the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies were, you know, the Phillies changed my life. I mean, I can't overstate that at all. It was what the Phillies did for me. It's been amazing.
I think the Birds caused some issues out there in center field, so Freddie Galvis will cruise into second base. We'll see how they score that. Never easy with the Birds down here in Florida. They're here a little early. They normally wait till the 8th or 9th inning. But, you know, you brought up an interesting point because you think back to 2006 and you think about arriving in Clearwater, and you told your guys as you arrived in Clearwater this time, you know, this place is pretty special for you for a very important reason.
Yeah, you know, the Phillies brought me in 2005, but I came back in 2006 with, you know, no real shot to make the team. But yeah, when we came across from Tampa Bay into Clearwater, I tell the guys in my van, I'm like, guys, this is Clearwater. This is where my life changed, and that's, once again, I can't overstate that either. Clearwater, 2006. You know, Charlie Manuel, the Phillies, they gave me that shot, and you know, I had the spring training in my life, and didn't make it out of camp that year, but because I had such a good spring training, and Charlie Manuel and Pat Gillick and Ruben Amaro Jr., they were all paying attention, and you know, when an injury happened, I was that guy called up. So yeah, Clearwater. I mean, when I get to Clearwater about twice a year usually, and every time I come over, it feels like it makes me feel like the major leagues.
Well, you guys are 3-2 on this current trip here in Florida. You guys are playing here a day off today as you came into the ballpark today. Is there anything that you're always coaching, I imagine? What did you tell these guys to be watching for? As you know, they're seeing a lot of young players trying to realize that dream as well.
Number one, look how easy the major leaguers make the game look. But more importantly, from the hitting side of things, I'm like Charlie Manuel. I love to hit. I love it when our guys hit. And Charlie Manuel would always say, you make your money in the fastball. So I told these guys, when you come in, watch how the hitters are ready to hit a fastball. Doesn't mean you can't still hit a curveball, but you make your money, your paychecks come because you can hit a fastball.
Well, I can tell you, these guys down here in front of us, guys are watching the game intently and enjoying themselves as well. How you doing, fellas? Good luck this year. All right, good luck on this road trip as well. Coach, always good to see you.
Yeah, Greg, great seeing you too. Hey, go Phils.
All right, go Phils. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. Nice to see Chris Coast.
Yeah.
There's some of his team that are getting a chance to enjoy today's game. Swing and a miss by Goodell. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Probably a little warmer down here, don't you think?
I would think it's warmer down here, yes. You think Coasty misses being in the studio?
I don't know.
Certainly looks more comfortable wearing the T-shirt than the shirt and tie.
Yeah.
Little bouncer foul. Buddy Balchers, who mentioned, took over in this inning. Last year he was 2-0 with an ERA of 4.25. And he gets Tyler Goodell to tip one into the glove of his catcher for the first out. So 1 away. Dan Rolfing is the new catcher.
Breaking ball here. You know, at worst, you'd like to see Tyler try and, even with 2 strikes, shoot one towards the the right side there to advance Freddie to third base. I know it's 4-1, but even with 2 strikes, at the worst, you want to see him advance Freddie.
Well, now Scott Kingery, who's had himself a heck of a spring. He's 4 for 10 offensively, but he's also made several very good plays out at second base. Out of the University of Arizona. He runs it outside, 1-0. Phillies have 2 solid prospects at second base in Valentine and Scott Kingery. Both are in camp. 2-0. Outside corner. Freddie Galvis takes his lead off second. And it's even now, 2-2.
A little surprised Freddie didn't come out after hitting that double.
Yes, I am a little surprised. Phillies play 2 more games here at home this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday. They'll adjust the lineups a little bit, get some other guys some action. Maybe Freddie's off tomorrow.
Could be.
Michael Franco was scheduled to play today, but he had to go to the dentist, and he was there a little longer than he expected. Tomorrow will be on CSN at 1 o'clock. Two balls and 2 strikes. Another foul ball. Phillies have Sean Burnett again warming in the bullpen. It looks like he'll be the next one out for the top of the 8th inning. There's Burnett. There were a couple other players that were on the list to pitch today that may not get into the game. Pretty good battle going on here. And the Derek gets away from Rolfing, goes back to the screen, and Freddie Galvis gets the third. Well, it's all part of this at bat. And a pretty good idea, fouling a few pitches off. Now he might be able to pick up an RBI even with a ground out.
And that's a tough one to lay off if you're Scott Kingery, because you're getting pelted with fastballs inside and it comes out of the same slot. You're thinking, oh, I got to be a little bit quicker, start your swing, and then it ends up, curving in the dirt. He did not offer that. It's a good piece of hitting right there, a good piece of taking, I should say.
Another one back to the screen. Kingery was an All-American at Arizona. Born and raised in the state of Arizona. He, like Michael Saunders, played in the Little League World Series. You see Daniel Nava.
Win the battle here. Win the battle.
Try to get that run home. ball to deep left field. Granite going back. It is gone. And Scott Kingery has won the battle. And he has cut this lead to 1. The Phillies trail it 4-3.
Look at that. Is there anything this kid can't do?
Well, he saw so many pitches and fouled one after another off. And it seemed like he was guessing the right pitch there.
Boschers went back to the breaking ball here. Kingery does not miss it. Wow.
So a 2-run home run. And he is now 5 for 11 in this spring. Daniel Nava fouls it back.
It's opened some eyes, huh, Tom?
I think the Phillies as an organization knew that they had a special player, but I think the fact that he's thriving here with the big club, it's a great sign. Kingery was the Pac-12 Player of the Year his last year at Arizona. So you know that he had the ability.
Yeah.
He had a teammate drafted in the 1st round. Kevin Newman, who was drafted 19th overall. He was the shortstop on that team. A lot of folks said that, you know, Newman's really good. But even then, a lot of folks projected that Kingery was a steal in the 2nd round.
It's a heck of a middle infield there, huh?
Sure is. See Nava's numbers this spring, trying to win a job as an extra outfielder for the Phillies. 3 balls and 1 strike. Back toward the middle, a base hit into center field. So Daniel Nava continues to have a nice spring. The inning continues with Aaron Altair getting a chance to bat. Some pretty good swings against Boschers.
And their takes have been good too. You're seeing the ball well off him.
Boschers at 27 pitches so far, so the Twins are going to get somebody up and throwing in the pen. No balls, 1 strike to Altair. I think he was guessing a different pitch there. It's 0-2.
Pitcher almost hit him on the back foot.
Steven Gonzalez throwing in the pen. Popped him up. Rolfing will give way to Nico Goodrum, and he makes the catch. Battle in the wind, and there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And Dylan Cousins is due up. Let's see if Cousins can mash one through the wind here.
I don't know if he's strong enough.
2 for 9.
Nice at bat off the lefty the other day. Came in the ball game late on Tuesday. Last game we televised.
That ball is a seed through the right side.
And did that exact same thing.
So Nava stops at second. The Phils have runners on first and second for Logan Moore.
After that game on Tuesday, I'm walking out and take a look at the swing by Dylan Cousins. Big man, short swing. Gets his bat in such a good hitting position. But I was talking to Andy on the way out, and I said it's nice to see these young kids, really stepping up and rising to the occasion. Andy McPhail, and he said, it's February 28th. I know it's not. It's easy to get your hopes up and then think towards the future, and it's nice to see, but it is still early.
Their swings have been comfortable. Their confidence has been high. We've got a pitching change with the Phils having 2 runners on with 2 men down. Wednesday, April 12th, will the Phillies take on the New York Mets. It's part of a 3-game series. Fans 15 and older will receive the at Phillies cell phone wallet. Pretty cool giveaway. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Phillies have cut this lead to cut this deficit to 1. It's 4-3. And now Gonzalez will take over for the Twins. Here in the home 7th inning, he'll face Logan Moore. So another lefty comes on. Numbers last year, 24 starts for Steven Gonzalez. ERA of 2.06. And the pitch in the dirt. Rolfing is able to smother it. 1 ball, no strikes. Logan Moore, one of the Phillies catching prospects, who's an excellent defensive catcher. 218 last year in AAA. One ball, 1 strike. Off the hands. I think that gentleman caught the baseball in his bag. Yeah, or he used his bag. You gotta think outside the box in these things, Ben.
Yes, you do.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Moore. In the dirt again, 2-2. Line drive, caught at shortstop. Well, he timed his jump perfectly, and he's able to rob the Phils of a chance to tie this game. But you can't rob Scott Kingery, not the way he's swinging. 2-run blast, towering shot, makes this a 1-run game as we go to the 8th.
Some of our
Time now for our Toyota Major League report, and Major League Baseball announced some rule changes for 2017, including the no-pitch intentional walk. And there's also now a 30-second limit on challenging a play. So a manager has to decide within 30 seconds whether he is going to challenge the play. Crew chief may invoke replay review for non-home run calls beginning in the 8th inning instead of the 7th inning. And I like this one, 2-minute guideline for replay officials to make a decision. Remember last year that Adam Morgan game against the Cardinals that the replay took over 4 minutes, close to 5 minutes? Well, now it is a 2-minute time restraints. Now there are some exceptions to that rule, which is when I was reading the article about it, they mentioned how great it was. It's going to be a 2-minute time limit, and then all of a sudden it said there's some exceptions to the rule. I hope nobody uses those exceptions. Pedro Florimon takes over at shortstop. No balls and 1 strike to Nico Goodrum. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Sean Burnett taking over out on the mound. Burnett through some injuries last year, 10 games, a 3.18 ERA. We're not surprised by the no pitch intentional walk rule change. Florimon made every play this spring at shortstop, and there's one away. But I'm glad to see the enhancement to the replay rules. Particularly the challenge, when you're challenging a play, the 30 seconds that you have to challenge it. Because we've seen, coaches come out, put their hand up, they wait. And most times people are within 30 seconds, but there are other times where they're not.
So you think this will put more pressure on the video?
The video coaches?
Video coaches, or?
I mean, I guess it'll just cause them to to make a decision a little quicker, but I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Off the end of the bat, back to Burnett. So Andre is retired. 2 outs. The other thing too is that the coaches have to be in the coaches' boxes. Now, a few years ago they talked about that, but they're going to enforce it a little bit more, which is kind of interesting, because if you want Sam well, how many times we see Sammy be halfway down the third base line? Here's Benji Gonzalez to face Sean Burnett. Oh, and 1.
That's tough though. You have a power hitter that hooks balls, or if there's nobody on. I remember when Big Mac was up, Mark McGuire Seemed like a third base coach be down by that ball girl on the left field line.
And when they designed the game, they said that those boxes were going to be safe for those coaches. 1 ball, 1 strike to Benji Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. Good off speed pitch, 1-2. I think the replay enhancements to the rule, what they've done, I think that's only the start. I think this is, a way to make it a little bit quicker. And I think technology will be the next step to make it even quicker. 2-2. Heard Larry Bow in the background say, yeah. I think he was right. Over to shortstop again. Florimon charging. Easy inning for Sean Burnett. 1-2-3 go the Twins. Middle of the 8th. Phil's down by 1. Let's see if they get something rolling.
Welcome to our 1 for
by the authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Phillies.
Twins are on top 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. We were talking about the replay changes that Major League Baseball is going to implement. Here's Brad Ausmus on the 30-second replay limit. I'm still a little wary on how the 30 seconds is going to be managed. Are they going to have a clock? We got to know. The manager has to know how much time he has, and quite frankly, the guy in the replay booth, Matt Martin in this case, needs to know how much time he has as well. As Featherston takes a strike, it's 0-1. Originally, the time was going to be kept in the press box. As there's a ground ball to shortstop. Audrey makes the play. And 1 out here in the 6th inning. It's going to be dicey. It's going to be up to the the umpires to kind of manage that. The other part of it from a replay standpoint, and we've seen this in the past couple years, where the umpires can look to challenge a non-home run call. Now they have to do it from the 8th inning on instead of the 7th inning on. And I think Major League Baseball is trying to tighten the reins on how many times the umpires use the challenge themselves.
Yeah.
Rhys Hoskins is 0 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This goes back to a lot of the other rule changes, quote unquote rule changes. It's one thing to make a rule, but whether or not you're going to enforce it.
Have to enforce it. One and 2. Hoskins will be followed by Pedro Florimon. In the dirt, 2-2. They'll be out over the stadium. There remains 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hoskins. Nice off-speed pitch, just tailed a little bit too much. Gonzalez last year was 8-1 with an ERA of 1.82 in Double-A, and was 5-4 in Single-A, but an ERA of 2.33. Hoskins toward the hole, and Audrey is able to throw him out. 2 outs.
Nice play there. Deep in the hole, showing off his arm.
And now Florimon will be the hitter. Florimon with a count, no balls and 1 strike. Florimon hitting .250 so far, 2 for 8 this spring. Swing and a miss. You know, the thing about Adrienza, the shortstop, he's a big kid.
Yeah.
And he moves well. 1-2.
Gonzalez, very quick worker, good changeup. He's got that sneaky fastball.
And there it is right there, and he gets Florimon looking to wrap up the 8th inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Phils. Here at the bottom of the 8th, we move to the 9th. The Phillies trail it by 1. It's 4-3.
When hunger strikes,
March Madness is upon us. Catch a CAA doubleheaders. Conference leader UNCW battles either Hofstra or Delaware, followed by William & Mary versus Elon. Home is CAA quarterfinal tournament action tomorrow starting at noon right here on TCN. That young man is done. He has lasted as long as he possibly can, and now It's time to just relax.
Look at that little guy. Living the life.
Sure is living the life. Cesar Ramos will take over here in the top of the 9th inning. Ramos has actually looked pretty good so far this spring. And he will face Dan Rolfing. Rolfing and then Santana. Santana's gone the whole way today. Playing a little outfield and a little first base. 0-1. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Rolfing was late.
The bottom ham actually came off on that swing.
Right off it. Yep. Two balls and 2 strikes. Phillies in their half of the 9th inning. We'll have Tyler Goodell leading things off. And then the top of the order, which features Scott Kingery and Daniel Nava in the 1-2 spots. Down the right field line, they'll be out of play.
Jeez.
Did that hit that gentleman?
It looked like it hit him right in the left shoulder, left bicep.
I didn't think he knew it was coming by him.
Wanted that pitch, Tom?
I thought it was pretty close to the plate. 3-2. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. Over to second base. Kingery has it. Bobbled it for a moment. No worries about the juggle. 1 away. Kind of added a little pizzazz to that play. So Danny Santana will be the hitter. Santana today has homered. He's doubled. He's also hit into a double play. JT Chargois is warming up in the bullpen for the Twins. So it looks like he's going to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. There he is. And he's gone. He was there.
Houdini.
Good pitch by Ramos. Dropped right out off the table. Granite waits on deck. And the wind will take that to the seats. This is what Santana did back in the 2nd inning.
This was a blast. Elkson tries to get one in there. Doesn't happen. Danny Santana hits well out of here to right field. But overall, I was very happy with the way Jeremy pitched today.
Absolutely. Jeremy pitched well. And also, Mark Appel pitched well.
Very well. It's great when pitchers, you have a 1-2 count. If you're trying to get somebody out inside, if you're going to miss off the plate. Exactly what Ramos did there.
Off the end of the bat, spun right back to the mounds. 2 outs. And now Zach Granite, who had the 2-run single in the 7th inning, that has turned out to be the deciding hit at this point, will be the batter. Granite last year stole 56 bases. Take it to the 14th round in 2013. Runs inside, 3-0. Granite's out of Seton Hall. Went to the same high school that produced Jason Marquis out on Staten Island. As JB Shuck waits on deck. To the right side, Kingre's going to have to hurry. He gets to it and throws him out. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Cesar Ramos. So Phillies down to their final chance as we go to the bottom of the 9th. That guy's going to get a chance to bat at some point when we get back.
Dear fellow citizens.
Well, back here at Spectrum Field where the Phillies trail at 4-3 as we move to the bottom half of the 9th inning. 2 runs in the 7th inning for Minnesota, then 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Phils to cut this deficit 2-1. JT Chargois warming up on the mound. Chargois will face a pinch hitter for Tyler Goodell. It'll be Roman Quinn. Chargois 1-1 last year, an ERA of 4.70. So Roman Quinn will pinch it. Try to get on base to get that tying run on board and maybe get into scoring position. It'll be Quinn, Kingery, and Daniel Nava here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Phillies with 3 runs on 9 hits. The Twins with 4 runs on 9 base hits. And of course, because of the speed, we've got the infield, particularly in the corners, on high alert. Santana's in on the grass. And Roman takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Give you one guess where Chargois is from?
France?
Close. Louisiana.
Louisiana. Up and away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Makes his home in League City, Texas now. Went to Rice. He was a teammate of Anthony Rendon at one point. Roman takes outside, 3-1. There's Kingery. Back to the screen. After hit the top of our booth and shot over the head of Chris Coast, and then back down into the seating area.
I didn't flinch on that one as much as I did that one hit our window the other day.
Well, the one that hit our window the other day looked like it might be climbing in our window.
Yeah.
3-2. He got him, threw him a 97-mile-an-hour heater. And 1 out here in the 9th inning, and that brings Kingery to the plate. And speaking of Kingery, it's time now for our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Well, after a great at-bat, Scott Kingery just gets a hanging breaking ball and cuts that wind. Gets it over the left field fence to make it a 4-3 ball game. Great at-bat there by Scott, and that is your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
So let's see if he can come through here again. 2-run home run came back in the 7th inning. Fastball, and it's 0-1. Phillies have struck out 10 times here this afternoon. That's not going to make Matt all that happy.
No, and that was that Roman Quinn. I know it was 97, but that was a pretty big swing there. For all your goal is to get on base right there. That was a big swing.
Fly ball to right center field. That may be trouble. And it's going to drop in for a base hit into no man's land, so the tying run is aboard. The other thing about Kingery is he can run. Daniel Nava is coming up. Nava singled his only time up.
That from the right side.
We saw him in his first ever major league at bat up at Fenway Park, and he hit a grand slam. He became an overachiever when he was at the Red Sox, and he stuck for a few years. Had some productive seasons. And that first major league at bat, you want to see it? Big Joe Blanton.
What a feeling.
What a feeling. What a catch in the bullpen, too. Ground ball foul. That ball had gotten past the first baseman in fair territory down in the corner. There's a good chance that Kingery was going to score.
Now, how much of that line Goodrum's going to give up, though, after he comes off the bag.
And 2. Aaron Altair is on deck for the Phils. Phillies trying to get 2 games over the 500 mark here in spring training. 3-2-2. There's Altair.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Inside and low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jergois shook off the first few signs that were laid down by Rolfing. Rolfing may have wanted a changeup. Then it looked like he wanted a fastball.
He's got a good arm. It's a tight little breaking ball he just threw Nava as well.
A little bit of a quick pitch there. 96 it runs up there. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's Kingery. And a line drive, fair ball down the right field line. It hits the half wall. Kingery on his way to third. He'll be held there. And the Phillies have runners on first and third with 1 man down. Kingery and Nava have come in off the bench and each now with 2 hits.
Just out of the reach of Goodrum at first base. Easy first to third there for Scott Kingery. Another nice at bat though. High Phillies hitter. He's that little slider down and in. Nava finishes high and just out of the reach of Goodrum at first base. Lands right on that chalk. First and third. Phillies are in business.
So now Aaron Altherr was 4 RBIs this year. A home run, 4 RBIs. Altherr's peeking into the dugout or over toward the dugout. That's because they're going to have a pinch runner now. Cam Perkins is going to come pinch run for Daniel Nava. And Nava is going to take an assortment of equipment with him as he heads back toward the dugout. So Nava congratulated, and here is Altherr. Infield is in halfway. 0-1, actually a little more than halfway up the middle. Altherr, RBIs from third with less than 2 outs last year.
So they're at a depth where if it's hit slow enough, you can cut down the run at home. If it hits hard enough, you can still turn 2 up the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike. Tuesday here at Spectrum Field, Aaron Altherr hit one a mile.
That followed up Brock Stassi's 3-run homer. Going back to back, that was a bomb.
Phillies have now out-homered their opponents this year with the home run by Kingery today. A little low, 2-2. Boy, that's a real good take on a tough pitch.
Sure is. Back to that slider and whew.
Two-two pitch and a strike 3 call. Now it's left to Dylan Cousins with runners on first and third.
I think Aaron thinks this ball's down, but either way, it's too close to take. That one just a little bit more on the plate than the previous slider. It's low, but probably too close to take.
Cousins singled his first time up. So Altair is the second out of the inning. And now they leave it to Cousins.
Looked to be a changeup there.
It did look to be a changeup. I'm surprised that he would start Cousins off with that pitch.
He holds it outside his glove. The grip on it is a changeup. He holds that circle change grip before getting the sign.
Kingree's over at third base. He's the tying run, the winning run. Cam Perkins is at first. 1 ball, no strikes to Dylan Cousins. Two and 0. He's trying to throw it right through his catcher.
He is.
He's topped off at 97. Maybe a hair more over the plate, and that was his pitch.
Yep.
Now the 2-1 pitch coming to Dylan Cousins. A little low, 3-1. You really got to be careful here if you're Gergois.
Got to challenge him though. I mean, you don't want to walk him and then have the winning run end up on second base here.
Three balls and 1 strike, and the pitch coming to Dylan Cousins. In the dirt, ball 4.
Or not.
Or not. And it'll load up the bases. And Logan Moore will be the batter. And a trip to the mound to talk to Gergois. Neil Allen going out to chat. There's nobody else warming up in the bullpen for the Twins. According to the list, they do have other pitchers that they could get up. So it's up to Logan Moore. Logan Moore lined out to shortstop. Nice play the last time by Adrianza.
Time to be a hero.
So the infield back all the way around. Bases are loaded. The tying run is at third. The winning run is at second. And with 2 men down, the pitch to Moore in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, he's going to get a fastball. Line drive knocked down by Gergois, and the ball game is over. It may have been over either way, but Gergois on a frozen rope off the bat of Logan Moore is able to knock it down and make the play, and the Twins win it by 1, 4-3. Well, that was a heck of a swing.
Heck of a swing. Unfortunately for the Phillies, a heck of a play by Gergois. He's going to have to ice his hand. Man.
Take a listen. I think that would have seeped into center field, Ben.
He hit that ball so hard, I think there would have been a play at home plate.
There could have been. There could have been.
That's a defeating feeling right there, knowing like the game is over after you hit a missile.
Well, so the Twins win it by a final of 4-3. As they bang out 9 hits, the Phillies strike out 11 times here this afternoon. They got a valiant effort at the end. They had the bases loaded but couldn't score. We'll wrap it up when we return.
Union versus